Hello, this is my sixth grade band curriculum presentation for the school year 2025-2026. We're going to start right now. This presentation is going to explore and define goals, objectives, and achievements for our sixth grade band in the upcoming school year. The school year will be broken down into 4 quarters. Each quarter is going to have a goal, and that the end result of all 4 quarters is to best prepare all of our 6th graders for our middle school band program. We'll start off with our first quarter. We'll start August and we'll run through October. October is when we have our first concert with the parade of bands with the 5th through high school band programs all performing in the athletic gym. So what we're going to be doing is the goal here is to be working towards being able to play a concert B flat major scale. That would entail the brass instruments being able to play higher notes than they're used to. It will entail our clarinet players crossing the break. It'll entail all of our musicians being able to play 1 full octave on their instrument. There are 4 steps here to achieve this goal. Step 1 is we'll obviously review instrument assembly, care, and fundamentals of good playing. Step 2, we're going to start with just reviewing our first 5 notes. Those were big core items from 5th grade band that hopefully will be low-hanging fruit to many of them. Our next step is going to be to add the 6th, 7th, and 8th notes of the scale. That will complete our scale. A B flat major scale encompasses 8 notes total. Step 4 is just to practice and reinforce those first 3 steps. Well, I guess you can always reinforce step 4 too. So that's what we're doing and getting to our goal of being able to play a concert B flat major scale. The how is important to understand. So in reviewing instrument assembly, students are going to model care, assembly, and fundamentals for each other. We'll break off into sections, so instrument-like groups, and they will be able to demonstrate for each other. We're going to use the solfege in our habits of a successful beginner band musician to help review the pitch, hear it, sing it, and play it. Then to reinforce 6, 7, and 8, we're going to use the actual numbers in habits to practice them. There are numbers in the book where these notes get introduced for the first time. We'll use those to help reinforce those notes. I have also composed an exercise for them to work on. We'll be able to practice notes, fingering, slide positions, anything like that. And for some of the sociological and psychological approaches here, behaviorism is going to play a large role in the fundamentals, as positive and negative reinforcement are used to help with this period. I have a source from Rideout which states the application of behaviorism in music education states that the principle of behaviorists who suggests that a child can be motivated to learn through external rewards. We do have a lot of external rewards in the band room. I've already restocked up on mints for the kids to have, so we are looking forward to using those. Moving into our second quarter, I know November to December seems like it's short, but when we come back from winter break, it's off into new adventures. So in this one, we're going to work on expanding our musicianship. As our 6th graders don't actually have a full concert until February, we can use some of this time here in the second quarter of the year to really hone on their musicianship skills. So what we'll do is students will be given an 8-measure line of music. They'll be told to practice it on their own. We'll practice it as a full group, and we'll use musical elements to demonstrate how we can change and affect music using certain musical elements like dynamics and tempo. Then students will be able to practice it on their own, adding musical elements to expand their own musicianship. And then that's the goal of expanding our musicianship. So that's the what. The how is, again, practicing the 8-measure example. Students will be given paper and pencil to write down the musical changes they apply to music. And it'll be very simple questions for them. Do they adjust tempo? Do they adjust dynamics? Do they adjust articulations? And all these concepts are discussed prior to them having student-led time to explore on their instrument and practice on their own. The teacher here, I will be acting more as a facilitator instead of the person on the podium. So here, the sociological and psychological approaches will be more of a cognitivist view taken. Drawing on Rideout again, his tenets of cognitism state that children are active, independent learners who can make learning decisions on their own. This how will allow these students to make decisions about the music on their own. They won't be allowed to work in a group. It's their own decision. They've got 8 measures, but there's no direction, and they have to make these learning decisions of how to play it without much external influence. Moving into our third quarter, this is where we have time to work on reflection of music. So we have our winter concert and we have our NEBA performance, our Northeast Iowa Bandmasters Association performance. So step 1 obviously is to perform, and then step 2 will be to listen, view the performance. Then we'll discuss with peers and small groups, and then we'll discuss with the director about the performance. And the goal here is to provide constructive feedback of performances using the appropriate terminology. That's the what. Now for the how. The how here is to think about how to accurately reflect. Students will be asking themselves essential questions like, what went well during the performance? What challenges did we face as an ensemble? How can we improve on our music? Did I play to the best of my ability? And I am confident in my ability to improve on my instrument. Now we use these questions because it lies into Kolb's experimental learning cycle. This reflection is a key element in the students being able to develop and have concrete and positive experiences through their reflection. It'll help build positive self-efficacy and confidence moving forward into the spring. Finally, we reach our fourth quarter. Our fourth quarter is working on performance anxiety. As we get to the end of 6th grade, there's this anxiety of ending elementary school and going into middle school. And what does that mean for band? What does that mean for choir? What does that mean for sports? The students here have so much on their plate as they transition into middle school. And it's very common that many of them start to get performance anxiety about their instrument. Because as we get older, it's not just something you were forced to do in 5th and 6th grade. This is going to be something you are actually doing more of. And some of our students get nervous about that. So our 4 steps here in this fourth quarter, we'll discuss what causes performance anxiety. We'll brainstorm strategies to lessen the performance anxiety of students. We're going to discuss the role of fear, guilt, shame in terms of their role in performance anxiety. We'll develop a strategy to try during our spring concert performance. So the goal is, again, to understand performance anxiety and develop strategies to avoid severe performance anxiety moving into middle school and beyond. The how we're going to achieve this is going to be using some of Ren's social learning theory about fear, guilt, and shame. Students will have a basic understanding of themselves, but now students will need to address this social learning theory and its role in performance. So if we think back to the what, discussing the role of fear, guilt, and shame, the students are going to have to answer these questions. And it might be a tricky concept, like how does fear play a role in performance? How does guilt play a role in performance? And how does shame play a role in performance? Each of these have a different role to play in terms of performance and a student's potential anxiety for these performances. So being able to address these things, the students will be able to grow more as a musician and hopefully overcome any anxiety that they have going into middle school band and beyond. And here are my references. For the first 2 quarters, we use the Rideout, then quarter 3 with musical self-efficacy, and then quarter 4 talking about Ren's social learning theory. Thank you for watching.